Hey there. So it is Wednesday and we've got our webinar today and we've got a guest today. We're talking about publishing, publishing books. And Owens Publishing Company is the name of her company. Within our community, there is a lot of information about publishing because publishing a book is one of the best ways to really expand your brand, to really tell the world who you are, for news media to pick you up, for you to get booked on stages. Those are the main things. So publishing is a big part of it. A little bit about me before I really started doing the things that I'm doing now. I started out as a literary publicist. So I've worked with Moody, Zondervan, Thomas Nelson, Random House, uh, Harvest House, Harrison House, uh, Judson Press. And so, and then smaller presses as well as individual churches. But literary publicists are people that promote books. Obviously, this was decades ago, so early 2000s, around there, where publishers really had to hire publicists like me in order to promote their authors. So I worked with TD Jakes, Creflo Dollars, Michelle McKinney Hammond, Cindy Trim, whatever. So basically, just like with every type of technology upgrade, there is a change in how we do business. What changed was the fact that the publishers didn't need to rely on publicists to promote their books because a lot of people were then self-publishing their books. So if it was Paul Morton, say for instance, or Cindy Trim, they would say, you know what, I would make more money publishing my own book. And a lot of people began to discover that. And not TD Jakes, there's certain people that still the publishing company cuts a better contract or deal with them so that they can actually get a better percentage. But most times you're only getting, if they pay you in advance, say of $10,000, you have to really give that money back by your sale. So they advance you 10,000, but you've got to sell at least 10,000, and anything after that advance you get. And typically that's around 3.5%. Maybe go up to 10, but it's usually about a percentage of the sales after you have done the advance, the $10,000 of the sales, you get a percentage of that, and you get it for life. But it shows that you have to sell. So people realize that they can self-publish, and Dawn will get into this more, and make more money. So one of the things before anything, and we're going to have a new member joining us next week, I want to say hi to our current members, all of you guys. Thank you for being part of the community. The Tony and Deanna, they're brand new. Deanna has a business where it is hygiene on wheels. That's a whole nother thing. She's been a hygienist, and so now she goes around to within communities that people who can't get out, and she does hygiene things. And Tony has a book. Tony has a book she published, but it doesn't have an ISBN number, and it's not on Amazon, which Dawn will get into about why that's important. My main purpose of really opening this up is, one, to let you all know that there is a lot of information within our community. So I put in a hashtag media or book marketing, and you will usually find those hashtags of different articles. This particular one was a book marketing hashtag and marketing plan. So this right here, this article that's in our community, in the community part, you will find that there are outline, a sample book marketing outline, what kind of things that you need to do when you're putting together a book marketing. The thing of it is, if your book doesn't sell, what's the point of really publishing a book? So you can write it and then all your friends and family buy it, fine. Okay, but did you go through all of this? The average energy that it takes and money for a book to really be published can be anywhere from 2,500 on the very low end up to 10,000. And if you want to get it ghostwritten, a ghostwriter starts at 10K. So you don't want to just write a book and just write a book because you want to tell your story. You want to make sure that the book is marketed properly and it sells. A lady today said, I've written like 12 books. And my mom said to me, she says, are anybody reading these books? She just likes writing the books. But just like Stacey Hawkins Adams, who's a part of our group, she writes books, but she also knows she has to sell books. You want to be a best-selling author, not the best written book. So best-selling author is what we celebrate. So this right here, I would, if I were you, I would take time to go through this particular book marketing plan outline, look at what it's all involved. I would also go through our courses over here to the side. If you go over here to the left, there is our branding accelerator, but there's also resources. So if you go into our resource vault, and you could see it's broken down by P's. The first level is the platform building, and these are all PDFs that you can download. Don't say that you share them out with people, but you can download them. They're for you. Podcasting, publicity, obviously there's a lot on publicity. Positioning is really important, and publishing. So within publishing, we have how to write your book in 30 days, 5 secrets to being an awesome entrepreneur, low-end product creation, that's to build your list, how to host a book signing event for maximum exposure, sales funnel planner, and then a book brainstorming workbook, if you don't know. And I also have that link in the chat as well. So there's about partnering, social media, and that kind of thing. That is just in the resource vault. That's not even the courses that really guide you through. We got the virtual media summit, the branding accelerator. This course just by itself, if you just go through that, you will have paid the price of admission, because this course goes for $2,000. And so you really know that, you know, you would have paid the price of admission. So going through all of this, the videos, as well as the downloading the PDFs with it. Class number 11 goes over website optimization and how, before you're building a website or going to upgrade it, please go through these modules, and then the testimonial interviews of the other ones. Any of the guests that are on this branding accelerator, feel free to reach out with them on LinkedIn. Not a problem. They know. They say, hey, I'm part of Pam Perry's Ready, Set, Go Speak. I saw you speak at the branding accelerator. I'd like to ask you more questions. They would love to have it. It's only a couple of people that said that they reached out, because I still keep in touch with a lot of my people. So that is, I'm gonna stop sharing for now on this particular one. Yeah, on this one. And then I'm gonna go over to Dawn's, to her, and share her website as well. And I'll let her walk through that with you. So with Dawn, okay, where is it? Participants. All right. New share. Here it is, this one. All right, let me share it again. So I'm gonna share yours as well. Here we go, share. Participants, can you see your website, Dawn?
Yes.
You can?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I can't see it. Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, there it is. All right. I had too many screens open. Okay. I was looking at the Publishing in Color website. Publishing in Color one. All right. So this one is yours. So you want to walk people through your website, what they will find.
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me this opportunity. I just love you, and you are so generous with your network and your information and leads and everything. So I can never say thank you enough to you, Mrs. Pam Perry's.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Listen, this is a thing that I really want all of us to win. So if I have something, this has been my thing since I was little. If I have something that's good, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to share it immediately. Like, it's just like, okay, I learned something, I'm going to share it. I found something, I'm going to tell it. And that's probably why I've always wanted to be a publicist, because I'm just sharing and telling, and making sure that other people are winning, because it doesn't make sense to have all this and we just hoard it. So I really want to make sure that everybody wins. And one of the first webinars that I wanted to do on Wednesday was for publishing, because that is, first of all, we both love books, but that's
Yeah.
the really key of platform building, and really the key for your messaging. It's the key for your content. It's the key for being seen and paid, and it's just the crux of everything. Not that I think that everybody should write a book, because obviously you have to have something to say, but if you're building a brand, being an author just adds so much authority to what it is that you're, whatever you want to do, whatever you're expert in. Even if it's Deanna is a hygienist. I mean, she can just put down like a book together, like 5 easy ways to keep your teeth healthy for the rest of your life. I mean, I would buy that
Right,
book. I would buy that book because I
right.
would like to know that she's a hygienist, that she cares about teeth, our health of our teeth and our gums. And I would definitely like buy that book, because she would have to write it for an audience that would make it simple. I'm not gonna buy a science book, but I will buy it. So like
Yes.
you do is you help everybody with their new career. As
Well, I like what you said about it adding that instant credibility
mm,
to what you do. And
mm,
I also see books as helping you live forever. I know
yeah,
that's a that might be a weird way of looking at it,
no,
but
no.
for generations to come, anybody, even in your family, in your community, people will always know your story and your ideas will be out there and they will outlive you.
Mm-hmm,
So, I just think I think most people should write a book because you have learned something. You have, especially, you have experience, you live this life, you overcome some obstacles, share with people, just like you said you do, in your business. Share with people, share that wealth of knowledge. So
mm-hmm,
this is my assignment. I believe in assignments. This is my God-given assignment that I've been prepared for from the time that I was little, always loving books. From the time that I could read. I remember my mom making my older sister go with me to the library just to carry all my books home that I would read. So I discovered early that you could travel in your mind through reading books, and I just fell in love with it. And
mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm,
so so yeah, so from that time, I became I've always written. I had jobs in corporate before starting this business as a corporate communications professional, and writing for the president, writing the correspondence to the employees and writing manuals and technical documentation or whatever. I've written it all. So I was thoroughly prepared for this step in my journey, even though I did not know I would end up with a publishing company. So the Owens Publishing Company, we're a hybrid publishing company. What does that mean? I saw an example. You might have even posted this example, Pam. I don't know, but it's almost like we are. You want to build a home, and we are like the contractor, and so we have all the services to help you build that home. So we do that for your book. Um, so our process is split into 2 phases. I used to be a career coach. So I do career coaching with people who want to write a book. So first we have to understand, and this is why I say, start your new career as an author. Um, what is it that you want to happen to your life as a result of having a book? Okay.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So we have to figure that out first. Are you writing a book to expand your business? Are you writing a book to become a speaker? Are you writing a book for, maybe some people do just want to write a book just so they can give it to their family, but you have to understand what you're trying to do so that we can write the book to meet the goal you
mm-hmm,
know so we figure that out first, and we do a deep dive into that.
mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm,
and I think it's a mistake that most people who want to write a book don't answer that question first. A lot of people just say, okay, I just want to write a book, let me write my information down, and we'll see who buys it later. No, 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 no. First, we have to understand what the goal is. What do you want to happen? So if
mm-hmm,
you want to, you know, uh, be on more stages as a speaker, we need to understand that so that the information that is contained within the book can be written in such a way that it meets that goal.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
The thing that I saw one of your authors just unbox their book. Give me an example of what his thing was. I think it's Baptiste.
yes, his book is called Selfish.
Okay.
It probably is. We did put the book cover on there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I actually have his book. Yeah, I have it too. It's right here.
Mm-hmm. So what
Um,
was his goal, or what was his reason for doing the book?
his goal was to speak on more stages. Now he already has a large platform as a doctor. You know, he is very sought after. He's on the news. He has many opportunities to speak, but he wanted to make sure that he has even more opportunities to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we worked on that, on his plan for what he wanted to do with the book. He also wants to make sure that people have a healthier lifestyle. He is a cardiologist, but you know, he doesn't want to communicate all of these high level concepts. You know, he wants to break them down simply. So he wants to be able to educate people so that we can live a more healthy lifestyle. So
Mm-hmm.
he did you know, as he would speak, even before the book came out, and he would, all you really need, you need your cover. If you're going to be on stages, you can get that cut, we can get that cover done. And while you're out there speaking on stages, at the end of your speech, you could say, hey, coming soon is my book. You can also put your book on pre-order even at that time. If you need
Yes.
to generate some cash, you know, to complete the book.
Mm-hmm.
He promoted his book, and he had huge pre-order requests.
Oh, good.
So actually the book is done, but he's going to actually launch at the end of the month.
So one of the things about any book launch, and I always tell people this, don't write your book in a cave, write your book really through a process where people know that you're writing the book. From the
Yes.
from the time, and in the link here is the book brainstorming document. But from the time that you have that brainstorm, that you say, okay, this is what I want to do. This is who the audience is. This is what I want the book to do for my career. At that point, really go through the process of what you're learning about the book. I saw a lot of authors say, hey, I'm researching different names for the book. What do you think about this? Or I'm looking at different covers. You know, you're showing your social media. What do you think about this? Which one? A, B, or C? I've just finished the first chapter. Who would like a copy? The other thing is, like, I am in the process of really doing more research about the book, and it shows them walking through the bookstore. Oh, how many books are there on this? Look at that. Mine will be different because there are just so many creative ways of the process of everything that you're doing. It's like you're doing a mini documentary on your book writing process, book publishing process. And people who share that usually have a better buy-in when the book is launched. So it's not just like, hey, you know, they haven't heard from you in about a year because you've been writing the book. And it's like, hey, I have a book. And so obviously you're going to do press releases. You'll have a marketing plan. I always say you should write the marketing plan before you write the book. But that's just me, because I'm at the very end of it. When someone hands me the hot potato, at this point, they want the book promoted. But I always say, well, then let me have your marketing plan. And then they have to go and write the marketing plan and then give it to me. It's like, write the marketing plan first. You know that you write a book. So really, the covers are important, and Dawn does excellent in all of her covers. And she also, the point where she can translate them into different languages as well. You can see Light After Layoff, and then also too, I can't speak Spanish, but lose whatever that is. She
Mhm.
has it translated as well. And she also has Carolyn Drones as well, who was part of Speak Sell Shine. Hers was Self Elevate. Is this restricted? Do you do mostly nonfiction, restricted fiction, or nonfiction?
It is a nonfiction story, and it's so funny. Author Cynthia Lee, she came to me and told me her story. Normally, I don't do the types of stories that she told me. I generally do books that entrepreneurs come to me and they want to write a book to expand their business, or they want to speak or something like that. And they're generally, it's just a professional book, but she had the most incredible story. And I said, God, what do you want me to do with this story? I haven't really heard a story like this from this angle. And I heard the Holy Spirit's like, do her book. And so I took, I stepped out on faith and did something a little bit different. And she has the most incredible story of redemption. Uh,
Mm,
and so with her, some of these books, and I want people that are listening to this to think bigger. Some of these books are movies.
mhm.
Some of these books could be documentaries. Some of these books can be television shows. And I believe her book is one that really could be a movie. And so, we're talking about that as well.
So one of the things too, Dawn, before it could be a movie, I would like people to know that they can actually tell the story in a news article. So
Mm,
was it could be a news article, it could be in the US Times, it could be in the US Reporter, it can be in New York Weekly, but you have to make sure that it's told in a story because yeah, you can read the back cover of the book, but usually when it's in a news outlet and it's shareable, people will share a news story. And so all of your clients, please make sure that they tell their stories. There's so many different ways where they can tell the story in a article, and then the article can go to a TV show. So that happens all the time. It happened with Sharon, it happened with Portia, it happened with uh, uh, Dwayne. He's an artist. He was in Artist Weekly. He wrote a story. He was in prison and he took up painting. Paintings turned out to be beautiful, and he started painting all these great. And so we actually told the story in the Artist Weekly, and then we took that story and sent it to Fox News, and Fox News actually had him on
mm,
around the time when he was actually doing the opening for his in the gallery where he was showcasing his artwork. So what I'm saying is that they all have to work together. Your marketing, your PR, your book cover. There's a lot of moving parts. The main thing that I really want people to understand is that the book is the hook. It is the beginning
yes.
part of it. The restricted, her book could be a great documentary, but before we get to a documentary, how about we get her in the Houston, Forward Times or the Houston
Yeah.
Chronicle? We're
Yeah.
saying like those kind of things. So I'm just a big proponent. One is because it tells a story, but then it also lands on Google. So obviously the book is obviously on Amazon, so you can find that. But then you'll find a story. If her story has to do with, I don't know, abuse or any of that kind of thing, there's so many months that have to do with child safety or child abuse prevention and that kind of thing. People are looking for stories. When I say people, producers are, journalists are. They're looking for other sources and they're looking for people that will be a part of it. So many people say, well, how do they get on TV? Well, they basically are telling the story and it's out on the internet in a story format. So it's producers, reporters aren't running up and down the street like Clark Kent, right? Looking for a story. They're looking online. So you have to have online media coverage that will tell your story.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can have a website, but it's different when you're talking about yourself, quote unquote, bragging versus like having a third party tell your story. Uh,
Yes, and you did an excellent job, Carolyn Drone. You did that for her.
mhm.
I believe she was in the Women's Journal,
Yep, yep.
and she may have been in some other publications as well. But excellent job telling that story, and she's able to circulate that. And she's
Yeah.
had some opportunities from that as well.
And Elevate is one of her main things that she's always talking to women about. I see her speaking and doing that kind of thing. And social media and regular media go together. So you can have it on regular media and then share it on social media. I mean, that's part of it. But what are some of the main things that I guess you would say the things that people do that they need to stop doing when they're about to publish a book? What are some of the like like the key things that like, these are the 5 things not to do when you're about to publish a book, or the 5 errors that you always see, or the 5 mistakes that people make when they're about to publish a book. I know for me, this is me. I see that they don't know who they're writing for, and
Yes.
they just want to write what they feel. But it's like, if you write what you feel, that's a journal. If you write a book to sell, that's a little bit different. So you have a target market in mind. I mean, you
Yes.
write for yourself, and that's fine, but nobody really would buy it because you're writing for yourself. But if you're writing for a market, you need to have a marketing plan first. And then that's those things that I showed you of all that's entailed in a marketing plan.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what makes it sell.
I think, and that's why with this process, and I prefer people who don't have anything written. I prefer they come to me with an idea or a concept and we help you develop it. So that's why we start with the career coaching. We have to understand, first of all, like I said before, what is it that you want to happen to your life as a result of having a book? But we need to understand, I want to understand you. What is your purpose? Why do you feel you've been called to write this book? What has God created you to do? What is it? Who are you? What do you stand for? So for example, yes, I am a publisher. Yes, I am a career coach. Yes, I do all these things, but at the core of me, I'm an encourager. So it doesn't matter if I'm writing self-help books in this season and cookbooks in the next season. I'm always going to come back to a core of encouragement, because even if it was a cookbook, it's going to have some encouragement before we list this recipe. Why? So that's the thing that's going to tie everything together, which AKA you can also call your brand.
Mhm.
We need to understand what that is. And like you said before, so once we have that, we need to understand what's your message. We need to understand, like you said, who are you writing to? You have to have, someone in mind. And I think a mistake is when people say, hey, I'm gonna write this book. And I'm like, okay, well, who's your book for? It's for everyone. No, it's not. It is not for everyone. God has not called you to everyone in the world, but there is a certain audience that's been predestined for you to affect.
Mhm.
So
Hey, Deanna. I think Deanna just joined us. Yeah, there she is. Hey there. So Deanna just joined us. Look over in the chats. You can see our guest today is Dawn Owens, Owens Publishing Company. And then download on the side specifically for you is a book brainstorming guide. I don't believe, Deanna, you have a book, but we are just saying, Dawn is just saying that she believes everybody has a book inside of them. And that's what she is. She's a publisher, and she works with people who have careers, very illustrious careers, like you, and she helps them take that content and put it into a book for a particular audience that will buy more of their services, or even hire them to speak, or whatever you want the goal of the book to be, or you just want to share information of like the 5 mistakes people make when they're dealing with their teeth and gums, because she has a company called Hygiene on Wheels. So really, she talks about her first level of her service is at helping people with their career coaching as an author career coaching, because go back over here, Dawn, one of the things, a new career as an author. So new career as an author, what does that look like? And that's what we're looking at right now. She's going over that particular uh, process that she does, that she's been called to. Go back and listen to the other part of her backstory of that. But this is something that she's been doing for a while, and some of the books that she has done are across here as well. So she starts with the career coaching to make sure that you know why you're doing the book. And if you have more than 10 years experience in anything, some of us has 20 years or 30 years or maybe 40 years, but you can take a lot of the knowledge, maybe the top 10 things of what you've learned in your career and make that part of the book. The book can be something that you use in a opportunity to share with other people to let them know about your business, or just another source of revenue for you because you're selling the book, because something that people want to know from you. So that I'm gonna let Dawn continue.
Okay, yeah, we were talking about mistakes that people were making. So yes, understanding who you're talking to, why you're talking to them. A lot of people don't take the time to figure that out. That's a big mistake.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
uh, I think,
Covers.
oh, covers, yes, absolutely. People do make mistakes with that. And there's a question. Sometimes people say, hey, should I be on my cover or should I not be on my cover? And I think it just depends on where you are in your space. So for example, Dr. Columbus Batiste most definitely belongs on the cover of his book.
Selfish.
He's already he has already established, people know him. If you Google him, a lot of things will come up. He's on news, he's been, he's spoken all around the world. So it makes sense for him. Um, you need to have a professional book cover designer. And two, like for example, Cynthia Lee, I don't normally do those types of books. So I had to actually find someone to do a cover like that, because different cover designers, they specialize in different, with
Genre.
different styles and genres. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So there's people that specifically do those. She wanted that type of cover, a more racy cover to go with her story. Really, this is a story of redemption. Now, you might look at the cover, it's gonna draw a certain type of person in, but this is a story of redemption. It's kind of,
Her
you know,
testimony.
interesting.
Her
Yeah,
testimony.
but
Mm-hmm.
then there are more people, other people that do just business covers, people that do, just different styles. I listen to the story, and then in my mind, we know the different cover designers that we work with, and I'll match up the tone of the story to that particular cover designer. That's how I choose.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things just that I find, one, people write the book and they don't know who the book is for. Two, the cover or the title, those kind of go hand in hand. The cover and the title really has a lot to do with how the book will sell. And the other thing is editing. So let's go into, if you're going to proofreading and editing. So kind of tell us a little bit of difference between that content editing versus line editing.
Yeah, sometimes people, they mix up those terms. They say editing and they mean proofreading. Um, so for us, the process is designed for you to speak out your book if you come to me. Now you can write your book and I will guide you through that, but my process is designed for busy professionals. So once you speak your book out, we can then transcribe that, and that gives us a raw manuscript. Then I select an editor from my team that should work on this book, and I work with that editor. We work together to ghostwrite your book. That's how this process works. That's why it's easy on you. That's why it's faster for you, because we ghostwrite the book. So we develop that story. Now, and that's a developmental editor. That's what it is that's who she is for my team. Okay. We hash all that out, but that is not proofreading.
No,
Proofreading is fixing the, grammatical errors, the typos, the punctuation, all of that. That is proofreading.
line
So
by
those are two separate skills.
line.
Sometimes people have, you can find one person that could do both of those things, but it's rare. So people need to understand, there's different types of editing, but editing and proofreading are not the same thing.
A content editor is a person that will look at the overall part of your story or part of your book, or even if the book is instructional, depending on what it is, they may say the structure of this book needs to maybe take your last chapter, put it to the front, or your first chapter, put it in the middle. They will then look at it from the standpoint of what the reader's experience is. Most people will write from beginning to end, but maybe that's not the way to really to put the book together. I used to work for Walkworthy Press, and one of the things that she would do with the books is, because she was an editor, she did have both skills, actually, by the way. She was a line editor as well as a content editor and developmental editor. But she would really take a book and make it so that it's visually, when someone is reading it, not the standard beginning to end. And it was just a gift that she had. It was something that she had. Now, maybe another publisher will say, okay, from beginning to end, you were born, died, from A to Z. But she would mix up all the letters and it would just come out in such a way where it really would sell. She did Victoria Christopher Murray's books, Rashonda Tate Billingsley books, Denise, a lot of them, it was part of Warner Faith. The same people that do like Joel Osteen and Joyce Meyer books. She was the Black version of those books of Warner Faith. And yeah, so really knowing the editing. So the main problem I see people is that when they write the book, they'll say, well, I have a friend that's an English teacher and they're gonna edit my book.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's two different types of editors, and then it needs to be edited, probably scrubbed about 5 or 6 times.
Yes, absolutely. And so with us, most of the people that come to us don't have anything. So we're able to develop
Good.
the content for them. So I'm working with the editor to develop your content. So she's on my team, we have developmental editors.
Good.
So we're skipping, but if you bring an already completed manuscript, okay. And I notice with that, a lot of times people say they want something edited but they don't. They're attached to how they have it. So when we go through, if you already have something completed and we go through, sometimes that process can be brutal. So you have to be open to having a professional actually critique that content and help you create a masterpiece.
Let me ask you this question. So if it's Deanna, and we just have like a few minutes left, and Deanna, you can put a question in the chat. If we have someone who is a hygienist, who's been a career hygienist, and she maybe wants to write a book, Deanna, you can chime in on like 5 or 7 ways for the best way to take care of your teeth and gums for life. Let's just say that's the name of the book. 7 ways to take care of your teeth and gums for life. Maybe 7 chapters. She can write about that. Maybe she can give examples of other people that have taken her advice or what, that kind of thing. Do you think that is a book, and her business is Hygiene on Wheels, and she can even tell a little bit of story about how that came about, because it is very unique, and what services she provides. Do you think that would be a book, or could be a book, and that's something that you could develop and research for her, I guess you would say, are the best ways to really get it done?
Yes, I think that could be a book, but I want to take her further because she's going to have more than one book. And so with the career coaching, that's what we are talking about. You're developing a brand. You might have 12 books, that in you. One about taking care of your gums, but one about, the different diseases that you could get. I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but there could be a series there. But we want to start off first with what she wants to accomplish, who she is, what is her real message, and all that brand. We have to build that brand up first. And then I want to have her first book have her backstory in it, because I want to be able to connect with her. Why is she so passionate about this? There's a backstory there that's going to really draw me in. So part of what I do, and my superpower is pulling certain elements out of people. So because once I know you and I understand your passion, okay, now I want to hear the 7 steps, but I really want to know why you're qualified to tell me the 7 steps. What's your backstory? How did you even get interested in this?
That would be good. So Dawn, I don't know if you heard that, but what is your backstory? Why are you interested in what you're doing? And as long for career. I mean, most people kind of like jump around in different careers, but you seem like that's pretty much like have been your main career, and then it's evolved into the Hygiene on Wheels, which is your current business of really serving a lot of seniors. And where does the passion and where does the heart come from that? And so people want to know that. And basically, if you're going for, say, grants or that kind of thing, this book would actually be a good way to tell your story to a grant maker that will say, oh, okay, I understand now what she's trying to do. She's just not the regular type of person, you know. So different ways of thinking about your story, your brand, your business, they all build on each other. Being an author makes you an authority. And so that's one
Yes.
of the key things that we really want to stress about this. And that's why the publishing one is important. Within the chat is the book brainstorming booklet. So you want to make sure that you download that. And then also too is Dawn's website, where you can schedule a introductory call consultation with her as well on the site as well for Owens Publishing Company as well. But a lot of things too, she does it Spanish translation, she does professional media training. She can help you with landing pages or author website. Some of the marketing services that she does as well, which is different from PR services. PR is a part of marketing, but marketing is marketing. It's a little bit different. Well, explain what your marketing services are, what it is that you do with their PR services. People think PR and marketing are the same thing. They're really different.
Yes, yes. Now, I must say, we do partner with Pam Perry PR.
For the PR,
For the
right?
PR part.
Not the
But
marketing, like
the marketing, to your point earlier, Pam, is creating that marketing strategy. So it really does start with that. So we start with that, and we have to look at your budget. I mean, because marketing, you might want to do, a lot of different things, but what does your budget say, and what do you want to accomplish as a result of that? You need to have the basics. You need to have a website. You
Mhm,
know that we have to get that done early on.
mm,
So the different ways that you want to get your book out there, depends on you also and your network. We try to use some of the things that you already have in your wheelhouse.
mm,
Who do you know? What organizations are you a part of?
mm,
Can you network with different people? So we try to use what you have first to get that word out,
mm.
and then we spread out from there.
And then one of the things too is that marketing, you do need to have it on, you do need to have it on Amazon. And that's one of the main things too. You want to make sure that your book is sold on Amazon. So if you go on a television station, they say, hey, you can go and get the book at my website. But most people don't know your website. They do trust Amazon. They may not trust your website of putting in $20 for the book, right? But they will trust Amazon. And that's really it. And this, well, Amazon takes all of the money. Well, you can either have 100% of nothing or 40% of something. So you want to make sure the book is always on Amazon. And that just requires Dawn walking you through of how to really go about doing that. The hybrid model, Deanna, make sure that you go and watch the video as well. But what I like about Dawn is that she takes time with people to really make sure that their books are the right books. Now, you can't write a book in 30 days. I don't know if you can actually publish it in 30 days. That is a little bit longer process, depending on where you are and how fast it is or what it is you have in your mind or how much time you put towards it. But she is working with a pastor here in Detroit, CTAB, Pastor Mormon. She's working on his book as well. And she works with a lot of medical books as well. So her background is pretty much technical. So like she said, Dr. Baptiste, his book is really, I won't say dummied down for the average person, but it's not medical jargon. And so that's one of the main things that she can really help you with too, Deanna, to make sure that, those kind of things.
And two, I also want to highlight Dr. Dexter Frederick. We did his book, Flatlining. Now, he is
Oh,
a great example. Here's someone who he identified, a problem within the medical field. There's going to be a shortage of minority doctors in the future. Okay. So he has a program for youth, getting them, the ones that are interested in a medical career, getting them ready. But he wanted to provide a framework for institutions in the future to prepare for this shortage. So he's talking about, this problem in his book. Now, his goal wasn't, hey, I want to be, I want to sell 1 million books. His book is targeted towards those institutions and administrators of those institutions. Okay. This was his goal. We put this book together. It has his backstory in it, why he's so passionate about this. And it has this framework. And he has an award-winning program with this youth, with the youth that he works with. Okay, it's called the Best Academy. And so as a result of him writing this book, again, the goal wasn't like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do this. He wanted to have more influence. So Loma Linda Medical School in California said, hey, we want you to come and head up diversity DEI at this Christian medical school.
wow.
So the book helped him. Of course, he put in so much work, but the book helped,
Leverage
to
that.
elevate him up. So now he has this high level platform where he has more influence. So sometimes people say, you're measuring success in the number of book sales. Okay, that's one way, but you can also measure in the influence that you can have now to solve this problem. So in that way, his book is a major success. So that's just another way to look at goals.
Yeah, that is it. Deanna, do you have or have you ever had an inkling of writing a book? I just asked you to unmute there. Deanna, can you speak? Are you on the job, doing the things? Well, if not, please take a look at what we put in the chat about the book brainstorming booklet, and it's in Audio Acrobat there. But it really will give you an idea of best how to really take this as a positioning tool for your brand. And I wonder if I open this, will you see it? All right. Let me know if you can see that, Dawn, if it comes up.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a brainstormer planner. So basically, you don't have to really, like at this point, like, oh, what is my writing goal? But it'll go through it and it'll tell you that what is your writing goal, how to refine your message. Really write, like, the books are sold by the cover, and then we take it and we flip it over. And so you write the book blurb on the back. That kind of gives you a guide of like what it is that you're writing. If someone were to decide, if they go to a bookstore, it's like, okay, well, why am I going to buy this book? And so you really decide from the back. Step 3, just looking at like why your story matters. Your backstory is what Dawn was talking about. And then also to the research that's involved, researching other books that are also on the same topic. What is their writing style? How long is the book? So you do a little research on that on Amazon, and then outline and organize your content. And then basically at that point, you outline the book. And it's really at this point, setting the time management for authors. And that's one of the things too, like if you're writing like a lead generator book, or you're writing a whole book for a lead generator, meaning like a book that you give away so that people will know more about you, or you're writing a 350-page book, which I think will be way too long. But you want to make sure that you're doing those kind of things here, and then dealing with procrastination, right? Those are like the main book killers. It's like, I'm going to write the book. But if what I talked about earlier is really document your book writing process, I think that will make you more accountable. So asking people, what do you think about this title? What do you think about this cover? I'm brainstorming books. What kind of things would you want to read about? And then choosing the right publishing platform, meaning that, do you want it just to be on Kindle? Do you want it to be, a print, a physical book? So anyway, so this is all obviously in our Ready, Set, Go Speak program, but I put it in the chat here as well. People say, oh, they will judge your book by its cover design. Again, Dawn can help with that as well. And then once you actually do the book, you're launching, you're planning, you're being on podcasts, and you're getting on blogging about it. You're doing the whole social media part, so that those are the kind of things too about what it is that your promotional activities of this book. Again, going back to step one, what do you want it to do for you, especially the first few weeks of that. So this is all that's in the chat, so you can get that, and it's also in our resource guide under publishing. So that is like the first step of really trying to figure out what kind of book you want to do, is making sure that you're doing a brainstorm planner, so that when you even talk to somebody like Dawn, when you schedule an appointment, you have some kind of idea. So she's not starting like, okay, well, step one, what are we trying to do? You already have something written and you have an idea, and then that way you can go further and actually get that done. So yeah, so that's it. But Dawn, thank you so much. This has been rich, very, very rich, very good. Owens, I put that in the chat as well. OwensPublishingCompany.com. Schedule an appointment. This is our Wednesday webinar. Wanted the members of Ready, Set, Go Speak to really just be involved and teach them what they know. So that that the resources within our group community are really, really good. And so we want, obviously maybe YB come on, talk about LinkedIn, or have Rodney talk about emotional intelligence, or have Stacy come on and talk about fiction. Right? I mean, the group is rich. It really is. So is there anything else, Dawn, that you like to say, or Deanna, if you want to unmute before we head out?
I would just like to encourage everyone in this community to consider writing a book, because your story really does matter. It can impact someone, and your influence is great. I always get people always say, oh, who am I? Will people listen to me? Absolutely, they will. You have something to say. You have been blessed with the opportunity to overcome something. So reach back and help someone else with your story.
And even if you have an idea for a different type of book that Dawn doesn't publish, she primarily publishes nonfiction books, but say you have a children's book idea. And that could be something too, Deanna, that you can think about, of like, children's books, so that children aren't so scared about taking care of their teeth or the dentist and that kind of thing. Then talk to Dawn about it. I mean, because she knows the industry. So she has a niche of what she publishes, but she does know enough about the other industries and can always recommend and refer you to someone else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm connected to, many other types of publishers. So
yeah, even if you want to do a coloring book, like you said, a coloring book or a cookbook,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are the all types of things. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being part of the community. Ready, Set, Go Speak. So within the little community part, that there's other things, and follow the hashtags and the different things, but there are media opportunities in there that dropped all the time. Yeah. Good. All right. Well, I will talk with you later, and we will see you in the community. And this recording will be in our trainings as a recording. Okay. All right.
Thank you,
care.
Pam.
Thank you. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.